back to another episode of Small Talk. You already know, two queens, two perspectives, one topic. Britt, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are getting into wifey, hubby material. We're going to chit-chat a little bit about can we define wifey material and what exactly that really means to us. Let's get into it.
Let's talk about it. Wifey material. Let me see. Because I feel like we say that a lot, right? Like, I think it's a goal. I think it's a goal. I think we can have some characteristics. Like, if I'm being honest, like, do I think right now, currently today, am I fully wifey material? No.
But why? Why do you feel like you're not wifey material?
Not fully wifey material.
Yeah.
I think let's make that distinction. I think there's some things that, like, I'm really good at, right? Yeah. When it comes down to, like, especially like having a partner, right? Like, I think, like, the idea, okay, what do I think wife material is? Maybe let's start there.
Okay.
Because I think when you think about it, it's like, and y'all don't tussle. Don't tussle with what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Because I do think that there are gender roles when it comes to certain things. I think that's what makes it wifey material and hubby material.
Okay.
Right? We don't say partner material. You know, some people might, but I'm saying in the general sense, right?
Yeah.
The traditional sense of things. So I think for me, I think it is being willing to, like, nurture certain things, right? So, like, for instance, in my mind, I'm like, all right, if I'm the one that likes to cook or something like that, y'all, I want to, and I guess it's for me, right? So for me, I would want to be able to cook for my man.
Okay.
Right? I realize that for me, I barely cook for myself.
Okay.
I'd rather order some food, something like that. But for me, I'm like, ooh, wifey material. I want to be able to, like, cook for my man sometimes, right? Not saying that he can't cook, because I sure hope he can, right? But I think this, like, in my definition of, like, also having this, like, being able to be, like, have this, like, this sexy side. You know what I mean? Like, I am homegirl vibes. That is me. That's what comes naturally to me. I think trying to, like, embrace that side of myself, like, that does not come naturally to me. And wonder if I'm willing to explore that stuff. I think, like, being able to be everything for one person, as far as, like, because, you know, you got to be their friend. Then you also got to be, like, their girl. And then you got to, like, be that sexy person also, right? In the bedroom and, like, all those things. I don't know. It seems like a lot. It just seems like a lot of responsibility. That's what it is. I feel like wifey material is responsibility.
I don't know if wifey material is a responsibility. Being a wife is that. But I feel like that comes with time. It comes with adapting to what's here.
Okay.
Only I say that because you might find a partner that might not like the sexy things. And if you don't want to explore that and he's okay with that, that might not be, like, something that's at the top of the list. Right. I will say that, of course, you have to find levels of intimacy that works for you all, or whatever. Every man loves seeing their woman sexy, but it might not be at the top of the list, so it might not necessarily be something that you need to explore, like, off rip. So for me, just listening to you talk about, like, how you define wifey material, it's almost like parenting. I just feel like there's no real rule book on how to be a wife.
Yeah.
There's no real rule book on how to be a husband. You just have to find what works for the both of you, and kind of work with that. Like, I believe in gender roles too. I just don't believe that, like, all men should take out the trash and all women should cook.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Like, those are the type of things that, like, if the trash is, if it's high and it's meeting me at the door, why should I wait for my husband to get home to then take it out?
Right.
You know, or vice versa. Like, if he feels like cooking a meal, he's going to cook. He cooks breakfast all the time. You know, that's his thing. If he wants to cook, hey, breakfast in bed me. Like, you know, like, that's just those things. But I do believe in gender roles. I do believe you have to find your, whatever the word is, the common ground in between you two to see what works best for you. So when we talk about, like, are you ready to be a wife? Are you ready to settle down? I think that's the question you need to ask. Are you ready for a long-term commitment channeling these changes with one person for the rest of your life?
Okay. I love that question. And I'm going to put you on the spot. I am.
Okay,
because
go ahead.
you are now going to be the spokesperson for
I don't know if that's
for the married people.
Okay.
So in your maybe not even your necessarily, it doesn't have to be your personal experience, right? Just disclaimer. But for you, like being married, do you feel like when it's like, yes, I do you think that you were prepared for everything that came after?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
100% smack in the face.
Oh.
The next week.
Okay.
Like, people that sit here and tell you that they are, they're lying. There's no way. Why? Because one, we're evolving people. We change every day.
Right.
Every week, every month, every whatever. Two, you learn to coexist with this person. I think for me, and this is so okay. So there's a lot of things that kind of go into this when we talk about it. There, you know how people are like, oh, you got to live with the person to kind of see how.
Right. Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's important. Why?
Okay.
Because you don't know. You're literally walking into something blindly with another person. If you don't, a couple sleepovers is not the same as permanently living with someone.
Okay.
So little things like that, conversations that you need to have that you don't think about having, you're not prepared for those types of things, especially if you're not having them while you're dating. So a little tip.
I was about to say, give us some tips.
A little tip. Have those conversations, right? Have those career goals. Have those, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Have those credit score talks. They're important. But also have the talks about children. And I don't mean like, how many do you want? I mean like, if Susie is cutting up in class, how do you discipline them? Because there are people out there that don't whoop their kids.
Right.
And if I'm one of them ones that whoop mine, we gonna have a problem in our household.
True. No, that's true.
So
that's true.
I just feel like those type of things, those are the type of conversations that you're not necessarily having when you're dating, because they're basic, like generic questions. For instance, finances. It's like, how much money do you make? How much money do you make? Oh, okay, that's cute. We can survive. It's not, will we get a joint account? What's coming through there? What's coming out of there? How are we going to discipline ourselves to then buy X, Y, and Z to manage balance in the home? Like, finances in itself is huge because you're not living for self anymore. Yeah. You literally overnight turn into a selfless human being if you weren't one already. And you just have to find your balance within your relationship. And it starts at the healthy conversations that you have while you're dating. It's important.
I think that's good. I think as you were saying that, it made me think back to, so I was talking to this guy, right? And I saw how much he spent on groceries. It's just him. And he has a dog. And it was over $300. It was $350 to be exact.
A month?
And now, he said it will last him a month. Here's the thing. I had been hanging out with him, so I know for a fact it wasn't gonna be a month. And for me, to be honest, that was one of those the I'm really gonna fluster because it was one of the moments that I said, even if it is for a month, there were still certain things that were left at the grocery store. Like that was like, oh snap, I forgot to get da-da-da-da. And I'm like, but you're already at $350. What are you buying? And it's just you. I'm thoroughly confused. And for me, it was one of those moments around like, like that would be a conversation, right? Around like, how much money do you spend on groceries for however, whether you go every pay period or whatever the case may be, because mine is very, very, very different. I'm very frugal when it comes to a lot of things, right? So I think it is having those types of conversations, a lifestyle conversations. And I feel like that's sometimes the things that we don't do, even like me, like as a single person, that is like dating and stuff like that, I don't have some of those conversations. But then I also think that I haven't necessarily gone down the realm of, am I really do I consider myself wifey material? Because it's like, if I don't see someone that I'm like, yes, I want to be that to you, then my mind wouldn't go there.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's different because like for you, it was like, okay, this is my person. You know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, now you start to make these changes and your perspective on certain things shifts. And I think if you are single, if you're dating, if you're not dating, or whatever the case may be, unless you find the person that you want to be your person, that you think is your person, I think your perspective is different.
I agree with that, but I'll say this, like in dating, when I was dating my husband and everybody else, let's just keep it real. It was one of those things where you kind of have to line things up and put them in perspective in terms of like, you're looking at this person and asking yourself, it's exactly what you said. Am I going to change? Not necessarily, you don't even have to change, but do I fit the mold to kind of live life and make certain changes in my life for this one individual? That comes through the dating phase. I don't think you're going to walk into a relationship with anybody that you're dating and be like, he's the one that I think I'm going to change for. It doesn't, it comes with actions as well. What does he get? This whole thing we got going on now with what y'all bringing to the table, blase, whatever it is, like that should consist of, okay, he's showing a little effort. Okay, he's showing a little consistency. That in return tells me like I'm willing to go the extra mile for my man as much as he's willing to go the extra mile for me. So that brings me to the question of, what do we define as hubby material for you? Like when you date, when you're actively dating somebody and you're looking at the qualities and characteristics of this individual, what is it that stands out in these people that you tell yourself in your mind, like, I can marry him? Asia.
I think that's great question. No, honestly, and I think for me, the things that I look for, do I see you as a protector? Do I see you as a source of security? Do you have your own ambitions and goals? Like the thing that I'm attracted to that I've realized are, I forget what me and my best friend we call it, but it's like intellectual creatives, right? So do you have that? For me, that is a it factor, because not everybody can be both a creative and an intellectual person. And so for me, like, I like having those different types of dialogues and different types of conversations. But for me, I think at the foundation of it, are you like those things, right? Are you an intellectual creative? And yes, I'm close, like, for some reason, because you call me closed-minded if you want to, but that's just what I'm into. I feel that you can and have the capacity to provide me with a sense of security and a sense of safety. Those for me, those are the things that I look for when I'm thinking about, is this hubby material, right? Because I think a lot of those things will fall under that, because in my mind, you'll be honest with me because you want me to feel secure in this relationship. You will reassure me because you want me to feel, secure in this relationship. You will be willing to work hard to think about goals and think about all these things because you want me to feel safe. I think in the same way, there might be certain things that we do different activities together and all these different types of things because you want me to feel safe and secure within this relationship. So for me, I think at the basis of it all, that's what it is for me. Do I feel that you can meet those things?
That's good. I feel like those are all qualities that are necessary. I feel like most women kind of feel that way too, in terms of when you're defining what a husband is to you, feeling a sense of security has to be number one on almost any woman's list that I know, that I personally know. Why? Because no woman wants to go into a relationship, a marriage, feeling less secure. And when I talk about security, I don't mean necessarily like, I don't know, I don't even know. But like when we talk about like financially, that's a sense of security.
Yes. Yeah.
If I can't pay the rent because X, Y, and Z, homeboy I need to be secure in this marriage that when we fall short, this is a partnership. You can pick up the slack somewhere and we're not struggling, you know, like, and vice versa. It doesn't necessarily have to fall on the man too. Like men need to feel a sense of security let's not take the masculinity out of that, because I feel like that is something very masculine. There's a sense of security. However, a woman has to bring some of that same energy to the relationship as well. And in a sense of, I feel like men look for a woman that can hold it down. It don't necessarily have to be monetary, but can you hold things down, really? I like that. I like how you describe what you see in a husband. A lot of people are into looks and height and weight and this, and he has to be a charmer and he has to do all these good things. All that's great, honey. But guess what? When life happens and you're X amount of years in your marriage, my parents, matter of fact, this month, my parents will be married for 40 years.
Woo!
40 years. That's a long
black
time.
love.
That's a long time. So in seeing them, just as examples, my mom, she was cute. She was bad back in the day. My dad, he was cute to her back in the day. But it's just kind of like now it's one of those things where they're getting older. Things are changing. My mom had kids. My dad had whatever, you know, health-wise, whatever it is, like the physical kind of changes. But as long as they are on the same page together and they walk through things together and they find out what works for them, that's what makes a husband. That's what makes a wife. That's what makes a companionship. And that's what makes a long lasting love. People tend to take that out. And as cliche as it sounds about like still date while you're married or whatever the saying is, like that's absolutely true. So whatever you start out with when you're dating as a single person, bring that into your marriage, because that's what got you to where you need to be. Keep those sparks flying, find something new. When Asia talked about earlier about like not knowing if she's sexy enough or whatever, that might be the something new that sparks the flame within your marriage. You just have to be able to understand your partner and kind of talk about those things to see what fits the most for you, for y'all.
I agree. And for those folks, that just felt in my spirit. I just felt in my spirit that somebody listening to this was like, no, but looks really do play a role. We're not saying that it doesn't.
We're not,
because you still got to get your foot in the door.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's how you get your foot in the door. There obviously, I feel like that should be a given. Like there obviously has to be a level of attraction, of physical attraction, in the same way that I think. And another thing that I didn't even mention, but that made me think about it. I do believe that hubby material, there has to be a in the bedroom component that you are good there. Because I think that's important. I think when it comes down to thinking about intimacy in different ways, but I also think that is when it comes down to the sex part of it, I think that also plays a role in security and safety as well too. Feeling safe and feeling secure in the bedroom as well. So I did want to just say that I think that there definitely is a physical component to it. We are not saying that it's not. What we are saying is that is just a part, a small part of, and for some people it's a bigger part, right? But it definitely is a part, but just understand that is the thing that can change. That will change. That will change because you're going to age together. Right. So in the same way, everything changes, right? So the job that you might come into a marriage with, you might not have, right? As far as you might get promotions or you might want to start a different business venture. So things will change, but I think being able to find that person that you are willing to grow with, that you see, that you feel, and this is something that I look for, because I think it's an investment.
It is.
It's an investment
in self and everything else.
Exactly. Yeah. The whole idea of it. So I'm looking for a person that I am willing to invest my time, that I see them as someone that I don't just want for now, but I see them for later. You know what I mean?
Lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. For a lifetime. So that's just how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been another episode of Small Talk. You already know. 2 queens, 2 perspectives, 1 topic. We will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.